And Deuteronomy 6. Deuteronomy chapter 6. It helps with my reading glasses on, even though I don't need them. Verse 4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your strength. These commandments that I give you today are to be upon your hearts. Impress them on your children. Talk about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up. Tie them as symbols on your hands, and bind them on your foreheads. Write them on the door frames of your houses and on your gates. You know, we're really supposed to be radical here, but in the way that we raise our kids. I mean, the idea of impress these commandments on our children. Talk about them when you sit at home, when you walk on the road, when you get up, when you go to bed. Tie them as symbols on your hands and bind them on your foreheads and on the door frames of your houses. My first point is train, train, train. We need to be training our kids. And we need to be impressing upon our kids the Word of God. Train, train, train. You are a trainer. So you need to be purposeful as you raise your kids. You need to expect and believe that your children are going to become disciples. And you need to train them toward that day and onward. We are called to train. So just as a trainer trains, we need to be trainers of our families, okay? The Kids Kingdom is not the one training your children. Okay? They're a great help, but they're not the one. That child, that's your child. You need to train up that child. Now, we begin early on in life. We begin even when they're just little kids. And it's, they get into that stage, and it's as maybe 14 or 18 months, and they start walking around, and we start saying, no, no. And they take their wet finger out of their mouth, and they're about to stick it into the light socket. Okay? And you say, no, no. And they get a little closer, okay? And you know how the kids are at that age. And then they kind of hold it there next, and then they look at you. Now you prove whether you're gonna pull through for them or not, And then they'll touch it. Then they look back at you, all right? And what we learned was early on that we were not going to shout at our kids. We weren't going to be yelling at them. I see people sometimes who their kids don't listen until they hit about 100 decibels.